Hello YouTube, welcome to another car video. So this time it's with the Volkswagen Virtus and I'm going to compare this with my previous Volkswagen Vento. So it's been 1 year since I got the Volkswagen Virtus and today I'm going to give my 1 year ownership review of the same and also answer another important question, so whether it's a real upgrade from my previous car, the Volkswagen Vento. So I have here with me the 1 liter top line automatic in reflex silver, but I got some GT stickers just to spruce things up. So overall, if you compare both the designs of the Virtus and Vento, so both have crisp lines which Volkswagen is known for. But if you compare the dimensions, the Virtus is longer, taller and wider than Vento and also has a longer wheelbase. So if you talk about numbers, so the Virtus is almost like 171 millimeters longer and 53 millimeters wider and 40 millimeters taller, and the wheelbase is almost like 50 millimeters longer wheelbase and also a slightly larger boot space than Vento. And even the tire size, so the thickness of tire, so we are having a 205 section compared to 195 section on the Vento. And if you see the rear, so here you get strong Jetta vibes when you see the rear of Virtus, and the Vento, it's more subtle. Again, both the cars are designed in a way to look really good. So the Vento, it's more than a decade old, but still it looks really clean and neat with these crisp lines all around, and that's what it pays for. And even the Vento, this is the Highline Plus variant which has a LED headlamps. So, and coming to the overall designs of car, so which one do I like? Well, the Virtus is a new one, so the rear styling I like of the Virtus, but the Vento, it still maintains its classy lines and I still love that. So now coming to the engines, as you can notice, there is no engine insulation on the Virtus, so that is first cost cutting, and they have a 3-cylinder engine. So previously when the Vento was phased out, it last came with this 3-cylinder 1 liter TSI engine. It's a gem of an engine, so if your primary usage is for city use, you can definitely have this engine. So coming to power figures, the Vento makes 110 horsepower and 175 Newton meters of max torque, compared to Virtus which makes 115 horsepower and 178 Newton meters of torque. So it's almost matched, and as you can notice, the insulation which you got with the Vento, it has been removed on the Virtus in the name of cost cutting. Now coming to the aesthetics department, the 3-box sedan shape still rules the market, and the Virtus, it's got the right proportions. It strongly reminds me of the previous generation Volkswagen Jetta that we had for sale in India. Sadly it's not there right now, so you get the Volkswagen Virtus, and the length, it's right, so it's longer than the Vento, as you might have noticed. And so when you compare with the Vento, so the ground clearance is also more on the Virtus, so you can use it in normal Indian roads. So it's almost like it's similar to the Tyre, so around like 10 millimeters here and there. And here we have the Vento. Even the Vento, it has clean crisp lines, so even though it's more than a decade old, so it still looks fresh. So that's because of the timeless design which these Germans are known for. And I can't stop help comparing the rear of the Virtus with the Jetta. So it's really clean, and we have all LED tail lamps, so which the previous generation Vento it didn't have. And so as you can notice, it has got a tailgate. It's not electric tailgate for sure, but it opens to a level and you need to push it above, so otherwise it would just hang down. And as you can notice, we have a huge 521 liters of boot space, which is almost like 20 liters more than what you get on the Volkswagen Vento. And you have a foldable rear seat, and there you have a lamp. So the lamp is a halogen, so I guess that's the only halogen unit on the Virtus that you get. And you get 3 parking sensors compared to 4 on the Vento. and the exhaust it's placed at the back. So the 1 liter has a single pipe exhaust and the 1.5 has a dual one, so that's how you differentiate. And coming to the Vento, so again the Vento, it has got a 494 liters of boot space, but you cannot fold down the rear seats. So if you are gonna carry long items, so it might be useful with the Virtus. And so you get this kind of a partition over there. And the spare wheel, so the spare wheels of both the cars, it's not an alloy. So initially we were getting alloys with the previous Vento, but yeah, like the spare tire is now not an alloy in both of the cars. And it's but one good thing, so it's not really a small tire, so we can ideally use it. So it's just of one size lower. With the 1.5 liter Virtus, you are getting the proper size spare wheel, so that's again another advantage. And the exhaust is visible with this version of Vento, and it has got this side skirts, so with the upgrade. And coming to the Virtus, as you can notice the wheel size, so can we see here, so the front and rear wheel size is similar. So on both the cars, obviously it's not a BMW or something like that. So you get a 205 55 R16 tires on the Virtus. So when you compare it with the Vento, it's a 195 section, so 195 55 R16, so both are 16 inches, but the Vento, it has a 195 section, and compared to the Virtus, which has a 205, so a bit wider rubber you get with the Virtus. So it goes on with its overall size of the car, and it improves the stance. So but the underbody of both the cars is neat and clean. So we can check out the interiors of Virtus, shall we? So first thing, getting in and out of rear seat isn't difficult. However, the bench is placed on the lower side, hence you have to sit down in it rather than just slide in, just like you do it with your SUVs or the pseudo SUVs that today the market is known for. So the seat cushioning is on point, so it's not hard or soft. So you can fold down the rear seat and you can access the boot like this. So this is a nifty feature, and I wish all the sedans had this feature. So you can load your bicycles or some longer item like ladder or something from the supermarket. And it has got isofix child seats, and you get 3 proper seat belts. So the full it's not just the lap belt, so the full 3 seat belts we are getting, so that's a good thing. And right now, as you can notice, the leg space, it's pretty much more. So even if you are over 6 feet tall, so you don't have any issues with this. So you get 2 USB type C ports and a rear AC vent out there, and the overall visibility from the back seat is really good. So even though the rear seat is placed little bit down, so it's really good. And even the third passenger, he gets a headrest and you get an armrest. So the headrest, all 3 are adjustable. So with the Honda City you don't get that. And the armrest, it houses 2 cup holders, and you can just fold that right in. And overall the color scheme is really good. With the 1.0 you get the beige and black color combination, and the bottle holder, it can comfortably hold your 1 liter water bottles, and you can keep some knickknacks over there. And with the Skoda Slavia, you are getting a seat pocket for a phone holder, but that you don't get with the Virtus. You just get a normal seat pocket with this. And now let's jump into the Vento, shall we? Coming to ingress and egress. So the Volkswagen Vento, the seat is placed lower and the overall vehicle is lower than the Volkswagen Virtus. So as a result, you need to go down in, and compared to the Virtus, the legroom, it's short. So if you're over 6 feet, you're going to struggle. And you get a cup holder here, and you get a cigarette lighter, so you don't get a proper USB port. And the seat color is very light, and it gets soiled, so you don't get any cup holders with the armrest. And you get a lap belt for the third passenger, and there is no headrest over here. So again, with the newer cars, so the width is more, so you get a proper 3-seater rear bench, so that you don't get here. But the cup holders are really large for its age, and Now coming to the front passenger seat of the Volkswagen Virtus. So I got it recently serviced, so you get to see those papers. And the power window switches, so the quality has gone down a little bit when you compare to the Volkswagen Vento in these parts. And the glow box is little bit smaller when you compare with the Vento, but it still maintains the cooling function, so it's really handy if you're carrying some milk or something in the longer trip, so you can obviously use this cooling function, so it's really handy. And the color selection, again I really like the one with the Virtus. So lower down you get black, and on the upper parts you get beige, so you don't get height adjustable seat belts which the Volkswagen Vento had. And again the AC vents of the Vento were real high quality ones, so here it feels a little shortchanged, but the overall cabin experience is really enhanced by this presence of sunroof. So again with the Indian buyers, so most of them at this price point at least they expect to have a sunroof, so that's what Volkswagen is giving you. Now when you compare the door thud sounds, both the Volkswagen Virtus and Vento has a really good German car door thud sound, so there is no short change in that. And the bottle holders of Vento, again it's comparable to Virtus, so the Virtus has slightly bigger bottle holders. And the front seat experience of Vento is good when you compare it with the rear seat one, and you get a huge glow box with light and again a cooling function. And this is the AC vents which I mentioned, so everything is of really good quality. And this one I got it for the wireless Apple CarPlay function, which I'll put a link below in the description. And coming to the seat comfort, it's really good, but these leatherite seats, it doesn't have the seat cooling. And one good thing you get is the height adjustable seat belts on the front side, so that's really missed with the Volkswagen Virtus. And you get 4 airbags with this particular Highline Plus variant of the Vento, so you get seat airbags. When you compare it with the Volkswagen Virtus, you get 6 airbags with the proper side airbags also. Now when you enter into the Volkswagen Virtus, you get a premium feel. I mean, when you compare it to the rest of the market, so it's still a good experience. And everything is modern out here, but this one feature I really miss. So with the Volkswagen Vento, I can hold down the lock button and all the window rises up, so all 4 windows here. And if I press the unlock button, if I keep it pressed, so all the windows roll down. So this feature is sorely missed with the Volkswagen Virtus. And with the coding, so you can just get it for the front windows done, so I'll come to that in a bit. So now getting into the Vento driver seat, so obviously you need to put the key in the slot and twist it, so you don't get a push button start that you get with the Volkswagen Virtus. And the engine roars into life. Again, both the cars have the same engines. So the power windows of Vento is really smooth when you compare it to the Virtus, so it has really a hard edge. And compared to the touch screen, the Vento, it has a really small screen, so if you compare with today's cars, the screen size of the Vento is really small, but it gets job done. So it gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto with the last iteration of the Vento that you got here. And the sound quality is also really good. So when you compare it with the Virtus, so you have a virtual cockpit, so again you get multitude of function with this. And so all these functions I have unlocked with the coding, so again I'll leave a link below in the description for this, and also the things that I changed. So you get multitude of versions, so you get to choose basically 3 layouts for the engine tachometer and the overall screen. And this infotainment is also really good, so it gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wireless, so you don't require any dongle like I did with my Vento, and it's really slick to use. So now compared to the headlamps of both the cars, so both the cars get LED headlamps, but the Vento, it has a multi-reflector LED headlamp. So as you can notice, this is the low beam and the throw is really good, but it doesn't go it doesn't extend to a longer distance. So obviously with the highway runs I had to use high beam most of the times, and again, like, not blinding the oncoming traffic. So in case of Vento, so that's the thing. And if you compare it with the Virtus, so the Virtus has a projector setup and the throw is really good. So it covers the road entirely with the low beam, so there is no requirement of high beam unless you are doing some excessive speeds, which ideally you shouldn't be with the Indian highways. And so both, I'm really satisfied with the Volkswagen Virtus headlamp on the top line, and the normal ones get a multi-reflector beam. Now coming to the all important section, ride quality. So how does the Volkswagen Virtus ride when compared to the Vento? So ideally both have good ride quality. So both have a sorted suspension and the ride quality is really good on both the cars. So the Virtus, it comes with a McPherson strut suspension at the front and twist beam axle at the rear, and it rides on 16-inch tires. So with ideally like a 55 section of rubber, so 205 55 R16, so it should give a good ride quality. So when you compare it with the Vento, so the Vento has a bit more stiffer ride when compared to the Virtus. So in Virtus, so it's been softened up for the Indian road conditions, and also it has been given a bigger, like a higher ground clearance, so 179 mm. So this can come in really handy if you are taking over these obnoxious unscientific speed bumps or the broken roads that you find commonly over the entire Indian roadways. So only now the highways have been getting improved, so let them get improved and like we get to use all these sedans pretty well. But the 179 mm ground clearance, it's almost like the SX4 that we had before. So I can take this car almost everywhere that I took SX4. So that's a good thing with the Volkswagen Virtus. When you compare with the Vento, so the Vento's ground clearance was okay, but it's it used to scrape at some places, but I don't have any issues with the Virtus. So it clears everything really well, even with the full load of passengers and the luggage. So there is no bottom scraping issues with the Virtus, and you can easily drive this sedan over Indian roads and you don't get much complaints. So I'm going to show you some of the tweaks that I did with the coding. So Code My VW, Dr. Code My VW did this, and so the RPM meter, as you can notice in this view, so that was not there. Again, this is a 1.0 liter TSI. I get the red color accents, the AC controls on the steering wheel, and also other things like the driver window roll down, roll up with the key. And so there are some nifty features which can be unlocked with coding. Now coming to the highway driving manners. So here both the engines, so with the Vento and the Virtus that I had, so it has a 1.0 liter TSI engine. So TSI is turbocharged, and both the engines, they are 3 cylinders. So one issue with the 3-cylinder engine is that if you compare it with the 4-cylinder, the 1.5 TSI, so the 1.5 is obviously butter smooth and it gets a 7-speed DSG gearbox. So that's really good if you're going for predominantly if you're driving your car on highways, you can go with the 1.5 TSI with DSG gearbox, but it's the same 7-speed DSG, the DQ200 unit. So it has got its own problems with like if you are using it for city traffic, so it gets overheated, so you need to put it in neutral. So that issue, it's not with the 1.0 liter because it has a torque converter gearbox with the ASIN, so that's from a Japanese company, and it doesn't have that issues. And the creep with the 1.0 liter, that's also good. So if you're using predominantly for city traffic, so you can just leave your foot off the brake and the car creeps forward. So you can ideally do one pedal driving with a 1.0 liter, the automatic transmission, and obviously it has hill hold assist, so you don't roll back if you are parking it on a slope, or like if you are on a traffic and on a slope. And but the 3-cylinder engine, it has some amount of vibrations, the noise, but it is well controlled. It's on a sporty note, but again it's not as good as the 1.5 liter engine. Again, the 1.5 liter, it has got cylinder deactivation. So what it does, so with the 4-cylinder, it deactivates 2-cylinder if you are cruising. So something if you are doing like this, so right now I am on the Mysore Bangalore expressway, so I am doing around 90-95 kilometers per hour. So obviously this is a morning and there is no much traffic over here. And so, and as you can notice, coming to the fuel efficiency, I am getting somewhere around 17 to 18 kilometers to a liter. So almost it's showing 20 kilometers to a liter now. So if you are driving with cruise control on, or like if you're doing constant speed, and if you keep your engine revs below 2000 rpm, you're definitely going to get a much higher fuel efficiency. And with these turbo engines, so if you rev much, so if you rev past this 4000 rpm, and if you are driving like a maniac, obviously you are going to get a single digit fuel economy. And if you are light footed, even in city, you can get decent, like a 2-digit, like a 12 kilometers to a liter in city, and around like 15-16 kilometers on the highway. So overall, the 1 liter TSI engine with the torque converter gearbox, so it's really good, and you can obviously use it on a daily basis. So what is my verdict on this Volkswagen Virtus? So I've been using it for 1 year now, and it's been really good. So obviously there is no issues. And so I have owned the Volkswagen Vento, again the 1 liter TSI engine with the same gearbox, so there was also no issues. So the only thing that I had to change once was the ABS sensor. Again, please improve that, Volkswagen, at least in India. So with our conditions, the dust and everything, the sensors get kaput. So if that is improved, and right now the service, everything of Volkswagen, it's really good. And the car, it has got 5-star safety rating, so that's an added advantage. And you got everything, so you get CarPlay, you get a sunroof, you get automatic wipers, so automatic headlamps, you get auto dimming ORVM, and there are a multitude of features that you get with this car. So again, coming to the features also, it's not shortchanged. Obviously you don't get the ADAS functions with any of these Volkswagen cars, so that you get with the Honda City and the newer generation of Verna, so that is missed. But again, with our Indian driving conditions, so except roads like these, so you cannot use ADAS with our Indian traffic if you are driving through city. So obviously it's kind of intrusive and you cannot use it much. So on that note, the Volkswagen Virtus is a great car. So when you compare it to the Vento in terms of features, size, so it's a definite upgrade. So there are a bit things which Volkswagen could have done with the quality of the interiors, but still that's forgivable. With the 5-star rating, the safety is still a king, and the 1 liter engine, it's sufficient for your city driving. And if you're using your car for highway usage, so you can go for the 1.5 liter. The DSG issues are kind of solved, but again, keep a note on that. So the Virtus, that's made on the MQB A0iN platform, so it's a real treat for sedan lovers. So if you are an enthusiast, and like if you like driving your cars, you cannot go wrong with a sedan. And also if you are a chauffeur driven kind of a person, so the rear seat space, the experience, that's also really good. The ride quality is good, so you can use it on our Indian roads. The ground clearance is really good, so even with the full load of passengers, and it's got a huge boot, so even if you load that up, so it doesn't bottom out. So there is no drawbacks when you're going for this particular sedan. So again, if you are in market for a 20 lakh rupee car, so the Volkswagen Virtus should be on top of your list. So again, the reasons to consider a sedan is you get a much larger boot space, so it's a proper car shape. So imagine, like, if you are a child and you are drawing a car, you are obviously going to draw a sedan, so a 3-box one. And when you come to the sedan, so recently we got the Verna, and also we have the market leader Honda City. So as you can see, even the Honda City is not really doing well when it comes to the sales of the previous months, and the Virtus and Slavia cousins, so they both are doing a decent numbers, 2500 figures, so which is really good. And the Volkswagen Virtus as a package, so with the features, the right amount of features, the right quality, the engine performance, so all these things into consideration, so it's really a great car. So if you are coming from a Volkswagen Vento, so if you are coming from a diesel Vento or the previous generations of Vento, so the size, features, so everything would excite you. And if you are in Delhi region, so the diesels are getting banned, the 10-year rule, so some stupid rules are going on, so the petrols are the future. But yeah, there is no hybrid option which you get with the Honda City, but still it makes a case for itself. So if you are doing highway runs, and also if you're doing city runs, so this 1-liter engine could be of a great help. And to conclude, it's a great purchase and a great upgrade. So that's all I had in this video. Thank you for watching till the end. I know it's quite long, so thank you for all the subscribers, so the people who watch this video, for the ownership experience and also the comparison with the Volkswagen Vento. So thank you for all. Subscribe for more videos like this, and also for the tech coverage, so for the gadgets and the Apple products, so I'll be doing that also. Once again, thank you everyone, and catch you guys in the next video. Peace.